Oh, brother! A mother went to buy clothes for her children, but since she didn't have any money, the shopkeeper made such a request to her that what the woman did next, when you hear it, you'll be absolutely shocked. What happened in this end to that shopkeeper who eventually sold the clothes in installments? And how did that woman manage to buy clothes for her children despite having no money? Did she really sell her dignity? Or did something happen that you probably can't even imagine? To know what truly happened at the end of this heartbreaking story, keep watching this video till the very end. And if you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe to our EN Moral Stories channel right now. So let's begin today's video. Friends, today I'm going to share with you the story of a woman who, driven by poverty and the innocent wishes of her children, was forced to make a painful mistake. We all know that in today's world, nothing comes for free. Everything has a price, and something is always expected in return. One day, a helpless mother went to a shop to buy Eid clothes for her children. She told the shopkeeper that she wanted to buy the clothes on installments, but instead of agreeing, the shopkeeper made an immoral demand in exchange for the clothes. Why did that helpless mother feel compelled to accept such a disgraceful proposal? Today, we'll uncover the heartbreaking truth behind her painful reality. This is the story of a woman whose life was once beautiful and full of prosperity. Her husband was the head of the family, and their home was filled with happiness and joy. Whenever the children wanted something, their father would provide it right away. The mother too lived in peace and always expressed gratitude to Allah. But time does not remain the same forever. One day, her husband suddenly passed away, and from that moment on, all the happiness and peace in her life began to disappear. The cheerful and lively atmosphere of the household seemed to fade away into silence. After her husband's death, the first year passed somewhat peacefully, as she was able to run the household with the savings he had left behind. But as the money gradually ran out, the real struggle began. The woman started seeking help, sometimes from her parents, sometimes from her siblings, and at other times from her in-laws. But when no one was able to help her, she was left with no choice but to work in other people's houses just to survive. She would wash dishes at someone's house, clean another's home, and do laundry for others. That's how she somehow managed to arrange 2 meals a day. But friends, life doesn't run on just 2 meals a day, does it? During Eid or someone's wedding, a mother's heart would melt in front of her children's innocent wishes, because she simply didn't have enough money to buy new clothes or shoes for her kids. But children are young. They couldn't understand their mother's silent struggles. They would repeatedly plead, "Mom, everyone next door already got their Eid clothes. You didn't get us anything last Eid either. Please, this time bring us something. Mom, please." Children couldn't understand how hard their mother worked every single day, how much pain she endured just to keep the household running. But a mother is a mother. Her only wish is to see her children happy, and for that smile on her child's face, a mother is willing to sacrifice anything. The kids kept insisting, "Mom, this Eid we want new clothes and shoes. Last time we didn't get anything. Everyone made fun of us. Won't you dress us in new clothes and take us somewhere this time, Mom?" Children are innocent. It's only natural for them to be stubborn. They don't understand how much their mother struggles from morning till night to earn a living. All they know is their own joy. Seeing the kids around them celebrating, they too wanted to feel that happiness. And a mother is always a mother. That helpless mother finally made up her mind, no matter what. This time she would buy new clothes for her children. She thought to herself, "Last Eid, I couldn't give them new clothes. I couldn't even feed them their favorite food. Back then, I didn't have the means. But this time, whatever happens, I'll make sure my children are happy on Eid Day." After that, she went to her relatives. She asked her parents for money, pleaded with her brothers for help. In a trembling, desperate voice, she said, "My children are begging for new clothes this Eid. Please, I just need a little money to bring them some joy." But no one helped her. Her parents said, "We have our own shopping to do this Eid." And her brothers clearly told her, "We haven't bought anything for ourselves either. How can we give you money?" With her last hope, she went to her in-laws' house. But there too, she had to hear something new. Her father-in-law and mother-in-law said, "You can't live alone like this. It would be better for you to remarry. A man would take care of you and your children." After facing rejection from everyone, she felt completely helpless. Perhaps she could have remarried if she only thought about herself. But in her heart, she thought, "How can someone who hasn't given birth to my children love them as their own? Maybe he would care for me, but he will never love my children like their real father would." So, she made the decision not to marry again. She would endure all the hardships herself, but would never let her children suffer under the eyes of a stepfather. As she walked out of her in-laws' house, the sun was scorching above her. But inside her heart, there was an even fiercer fire burning. Now, where will I go? Who can I turn to for help? Who will give me even a little money? Walking down the road, she could only look around at the people, lost in these thoughts. She wondered if all her paths had been closed, if every door had been shut on her. Then a question arose in her mind. For the sake of my children's happiness, should I now sacrifice my dignity? But in the next moment, she answered herself firmly, "No, I can't do that." Still, her mind was clouded with these thoughts, and she felt like there was no way forward. Her head was spinning with these worries, and she felt as if her back was against the wall. She couldn't figure out what to do next. She had no money, yet her children were persistently demanding new clothes for Eid. It seemed like every path was closed to her. Then, she began thinking of a new solution. As she thought, her mind began flowing like the current of a river, with ideas coming one after another. She said to herself, "If I have to marry for the sake of my children's happiness, I'll do it. But Eid is only 2 days away. Who would marry me in such a short time? If someone agreed to marry her, perhaps the marriage could happen after Eid, but her children needed new clothes before Eid. So, that path was also closed for her." With a broken heart, empty hands, and tear-filled eyes, she returned home. Sitting in a corner of the room, she cupped her head in her hands, deep in thought. What should I do now? Where should I go? Who can I ask for money? Suddenly, she remembered a neighbor's words. The neighbor had once said, "There's a person who sells clothes on credit." She remembered that she could take the clothes now and pay for them in installments over time without any issues. Her eyes welled up with tears, as if she had found a new ray of hope. It felt like an opportunity had knocked at her door. Her heart filled with joy. She prayed to Allah, "Oh Allah, if this is for my good, please make this path easy for me. She continued her prayer. "And if this path leads to any harm, please protect me from it." Immediately, she went to her neighbor's house and asked, "Aunt, where can I find that shopkeeper you mentioned, the one who sells clothes on credit? I want to buy clothes for my children." The neighbor explained the shop's name, address, and how to get there. However, she also added something else. "Be careful. That shopkeeper is a bit strange. He has some unusual conditions that not everyone can fulfill." The woman was taken aback and replied, "What kind of conditions could I possibly not meet? I'm only going to buy clothes for my children. I'm not doing anything wrong." The neighbor said, "I can't say much. You'll have to go and see for yourself. If you can accept the conditions, then buy the clothes. But if not, just come back empty-handed." The helpless mother thought to herself, "I won't commit any sin. If I can buy the clothes in a good way, I will. But if I can't, I'll return empty-handed." The next day, she went to the store according to the directions. Like other shopkeepers, this one also began showing her clothes. She spoke to the shopkeeper. "Oh, brother, before you show me the clothes, please listen to me. I don't have any money right now. I heard you sell clothes on credit. The shopkeeper replied, "Yes, sister, I do sell on credit, but when you buy on credit, the price is a bit higher. Also, we don't sell clothes without any conditions," the shopkeeper explained with a more serious tone. "No, sister, there is no need to sign anything on a stamp. However, our conditions are a bit difficult to fulfill." He moved a little closer, looked at the woman, and asked, "Sister, do you know how to read and write?" The woman replied, "Yes, I know a little." The shopkeeper then reached down beneath the counter and pulled out a book, handing it to her. "This book contains all of our conditions. Please read it carefully. If you're truly okay with the terms, I will sell you the clothes. But if you don't like the terms, please leave calmly without any trouble." The woman, still determined, took the book in her hands. Her heart raced, knowing that her decision now lay in her hands. She opened the book, ready to face the conditions that might hold the key to her children's happiness. The woman said, "All right, fine, I'm reading." She opened the book and slowly began to read the terms, but as soon as she read the first condition, her hands started trembling. It stated, "The woman who comes to buy these clothes must first remove all her garments, including her burqa, in front of us. She must stand completely naked before us, and we will record a video of her, in which her face and every part of her body will be clearly visible. This video will remain in our possession until the woman pays the full price for the clothes, and if anyone fails to pay the full price for the clothes or refuses to pay at the last moment, we will upload that video to an obscene website. The revenue earned from that site will be used to recover the cost of the clothes. This is our shop's first condition, which means that any woman who comes to buy clothes from our shop in installments must first mortgage her modesty to us." Upon reading this condition, the woman's hands and feet began to tremble, and the book fell from her hand. Therefore, it would be wise for the buyer to respond to our calls until she repays the full amount for the clothes. Upon reading this condition, the color drained from the woman's face. It felt as though she could no longer breathe. The third condition stated, "If anyone refuses to comply with the above two conditions, they must provide us with a stamped legal document. This document must clearly declare the house where you reside. If the house is registered in your name and you fail to repay the installment amount on time, we reserve the full right to transfer ownership of that property into our name. If we choose, we can sell the house to recover our dues. This document will be legally binding, and even if you later wish to retract your decision, we can use your signature on the stamped document to sell your house." These three conditions applied only to women. All three were strict policies of the shop. Any woman who came to buy clothes on installment had to comply with them. The helpless woman read through all the terms with weary eyes. The book trembled in her hands. But she was certain of one thing. There was no way she could accept the first or second conditions, for she was a girl from a respectable family, one to whom honor mattered above all else. Then she thought to herself, well, if it's about transferring ownership of a house, maybe this could be considered. But the next moment she remembered, I don't own any house. I live on rent. How can I create a legal document for this? With this thought, she closed the book, silently placed it in front of the shopkeeper, and without uttering a word, hurried out of the shop. Her heart grew heavy. Her eyes shimmered with unshed tears, and she could barely walk steadily. The hope with which she had entered the shop had now turned into humiliation, fear, and shame. As soon as she stepped out of the shop, she noticed another store ahead. There stood another shopkeeper, quietly observing everything. From a distance, he could discern the deep anguish and helplessness etched across the woman's face. She knew how the neighboring shopkeeper exploited vulnerable women by luring them into fulfilling his vile desires. But this shopkeeper was an honest and righteous man. He thought to himself, this woman is not willing to compromise her dignity, yet she is utterly helpless. If I don't help her, she might collapse entirely. Then, in a soft voice, he called out, "Sister, if you'd like to take the clothes, you can get them from my shop." The woman replied, "Brother, I don't have the money. I came to buy clothes on installments. The shopkeeper smiled gently and said, You can pay later. There's no rush, but the joy of children during Eid is what matters most. Hearing his words, the helpless woman's heart swelled with happiness. Yet, in the next moment, the memory of the first shopkeeper's terms flooded back. The horrifying conditions rose before her eyes again. She exclaimed, Brother, I cannot agree to such terms. I may be helpless, but I cannot sell my dignity because of my helplessness. The honest shopkeeper replied softly, Sister, I have no conditions, no video, no physical relations, no legal documents. Only when Allah blesses you with the means, you can repay me. That's all. There's no rush, no pressure, no force. Alirga, honest shopkeeper replied softly, Sister, I have no conditions, no video, no physical relations, no legal documents. Only when Allah blesses you with the means, you can repay me. That's all. There's no rush, no pressure, no force. Still, the woman was afraid. She thought this might be another ploy. In a trembling voice, she said, No, brother, I don't want to buy anything. Thank you. But the shopkeeper understood her desperation. He replied, Sister, I am fasting. I cannot lie. I won't deceive you. I have no ill intentions. I only wish to help you for the sake of Allah, sake of Allah. But the woman didn't stop there, nor did she say anything. She quickly started walking toward her home. The shopkeeper watched her leave from a distance. He realized that this woman was truly a good person, someone who could never compromise her dignity in any way. The faithful shopkeeper stood outside his shop for a while, feeling restless. It was as if an invisible voice kept telling him that this helpless woman would never ask for help on her own again. But deep inside, he was very disturbed. He slowly began to follow the woman without making a sound, without calling out to her. He just wanted to see where she lived, so that he could help her quietly, without telling anyone. As he walked along the road, he made a heartfelt prayer. Oh Allah, if my intentions are truly pure, then grant me the ability to help this helpless woman, so that I may help in a way that preserves her dignity. Help that comes not just from words, but from the heart. He memorized where the woman lived and returned. That evening, the faithful shopkeeper went to the woman's house once again. Without making a sound, he quietly slipped an envelope filled with money for clothes under her door and walked away in silence. He didn't write any name on the envelope, left no trace of identity. He simply did this good deed solely for the pleasure of Allah and walked away. That night, the woman sat back on her prayer mat in the deep of the night. Her heart was heavy with sorrow. There were no words on her lips, but her eyes were filled with tears. A deep sigh escaped from the depths of her heart. She bowed her head before Allah and, like a helpless soul, began to cry and pray. Oh my Lord, oh my Creator, you know what a difficult situation I am going through. I never cry in front of anyone. I have never asked anything from anyone. I have always raised my hands only to you, and you see everything. Oh Allah, my children beg me for new clothes, but my hands are empty. You know, Ya Rab, how truly helpless I am. Yet I believe if you will, you can bring light even in the darkest night. You can open doors no one else can open. You alone can lift the broken and support the forgotten. O Allah, provide for me. Make a way for me to clothe my children with dignity. And so, she wept, pouring out her heart in prayer, whispering her pain only to her Lord. While she was still in prayer, sleep slowly overtook her. In the morning, she woke up and was about to leave the house for work when suddenly, her foot hit something at the door. She was startled. Her heart began to race. There, lying at her doorstep, was an envelope. She picked it up and found several notes of money inside. Holding the money in her hands, She looked around again and again, unable to believe her own eyes. She began to wonder. No one had knocked on the door. No sound was made. So where did this money come from? Slowly, she took the money out of the envelope. Her hands were trembling and her heart was racing with a strange, overwhelming emotion. Seeing such a large amount of money, she was stunned for a moment. Suddenly, a sentence escaped her lips. "Oh Allah, you truly heard my cries. You really helped me." There was so much money in that envelope that even if she didn't work for the next 5 years, she could still live a comfortable life with her children. Tears began to fall from her eyes once again, but this time, they were tears of peace and joy. She quickly made ablution and stood for prayer. In sujood, with tears streaming down her face, she whispered, "Oh Allah, you heard my prayer. You helped me through the unseen. You are the Almighty, the All-Knowing." Afterward, she used the money to buy new clothes and shoes for her children. On Eid Day, she dressed them in their beautiful new outfits and happily took them out. Joy lit up the children's faces and in their mother's heart. There was peace. But the greatest joy of all was this. She never had to lower her head or beg in front of anyone. She asked only from Allah, and it was Allah alone who helped her. Oh Allah, you understand every human heart. You are the one who brings light even in the deepest darkness. You replace hardship with ease. Allah, never let us be forced to stretch our hands in front of others. Grant us the ability to earn through halal means. Bless us with a provision that brings barakah for our children and families. Grant us a sustenance that fills our hearts with peace and contentment. Oh Allah, provide good livelihoods for those who are unemployed. Oh Allah, make life easier for those parents who are unable to fulfill their children's wishes or provide the necessary things for them. Grant them contentment in their hearts so they can thank you for your blessings. Oh Allah, guide us on the right path, even in the toughest trials. When our hands are empty and this world turns away from us, keep us steadfast and on the straight path. Oh Allah, accept us and place in our hearts the firm belief that your treasure is never depleted and your doors are never closed. No servant ever leaves your door empty-handed. O Lord of all worlds, help those men and women who wish to live with dignity, but whose helplessness forces them to lower their heads. Open the doors of unseen help for them. O Allah, never place them in a situation where they are forced to make decisions that compromise their dignity. Ameen. O Lord of the worlds. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that the one who has taqwa, God consciousness, in their heart, Allah will guide them to the path of salvation and provide for them from sources they could never have imagined. Another hadith mentions that Allah Himself says, "The one who does not beg from people, I will provide for them." Friends, this was our video for today. How did you like the video? Let us know in the comments. If you want more Islamic videos like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel, EN Moral Stories. See you in the next video. Until then, may Allah keep you all in His protection. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.